Hi, this is Cory McCarthy, and welcome to a new episode of Fit, Formidable, and Fantastic. That's right, go F yourself. And happy Friday. In this episode, I want to discuss something that I think is going to be of interest to people who are specifically looking for mass and strength gains. And specifically people who are natural lifters that are not using steroids. But then again, people who are using steroids would want to use these same principles. They'll just get an extra boost. But what I'm going to be dealing with this episode is how you can naturally boost your hormone levels, like your testosterone and growth hormone levels, in your very next workout with some researched methods. So I'm going to be going down a list here, so bear with me as I take it item by item. First, in a study from the 2010 Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, where they studied rest periods and their effect on various hormone levels, it was determined that 60-second rest intervals between sets led to a greater release of growth hormone, whereas 120-second rest intervals between sets led to a greater release of testosterone. And in the top corner, you will see a link to that study that you can read more for yourself. In a study in the 2013 Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, where they were studying rep ranges, essentially, and they compared purely hypertrophic training with strongman or hybrid training, so a hybrid of strongman and hypertrophic training, and they wanted to determine which method of training, of which rep range, I should clarify, better spiked testosterone levels. And it was discovered that in the hypertrophic group, the purely hypertrophic group, testosterone levels were spiked by 136%. Now, the rep range they used for that group was 3 sets of 10 at your 75% 1 rep max. So if you want to apply that to your training, there's how you can do it. And again, that study is going to appear up in the top corner as well. So we've now covered preferred rest ranges, and rep ranges. And now, in a study from the 2003 Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness, where they were studying set intensifiers, like set extenders, like forced reps, drop sets, and what have you, it was determined that growth hormone is greatly increased by using the intensifiers like drop sets. Specifically drop sets that are at 50% of your 1 rep max after a heavier set. So you'd work a heavier set, and then you drop down to 50% of your 1 rep max and continue to rep to failure again. And that would significantly increase your growth hormone levels. And the link will appear on the top of the screen here to that study as well. In another 2003 study that was presented in the International Journal of Sports Medicine, where they were testing, again, intensifiers and set extensions, they found that serum testosterone levels, free testosterone levels, cortisol, and GH concentrations were all elevated by forced repetitions. So not just training to failure with your max weight at a given rep range, but also using forced repetitions beyond failure, which, seems, would sound like it goes without saying. So that's another technique you could use, is forced repetitions. And again, up in the top corner here, you will see the link to that study so you can read further. So those are some examples of things you could do to boost your hormone levels, and some quite significantly, in your very next workout. So to sum it all up, we're talking specifically growth hormone and testosterone here. It would be advisable to train in the 8 to 10 hypertrophic rep range to failure, with the use of intensity techniques like drop sets and forced reps, while limiting your rest to 60 to 120 seconds per set between sets, and possibly even varying it a bit within the workout. So if you want to use an example, let's take a chest session, a chest routine, and how we can modify a very basic chest routine that would be able to, based on this research, enhance your hormone response. So let's say you'd start with barbell incline bench press, a good old solid compound movement for the chest. You could do something like 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps with 120-second rests between sets. And then you'd move on to something like the flat bench dumbbell flies. And you could do something like 4 sets of 10 repetitions with 60-second rest intervals, rest periods between sets. And after you've reached failure on your final set, for instance, perhaps to get maybe 2 or 3 partner-assisted forced reps beyond that point of failure. And then maybe move on to something like weighted pectoral dips on a parallel bar for 4 sets of 12 reps. Again, with 60-second rest intervals between sets. And then when you reach failure on your final set, perhaps drop back to 50% of your 1-rep max in weight that you might have hanging from a belt, for instance, and continue ripping those dips to failure. And that could be right there an example of a basic chest workout applying the principles I just discussed. And now you can do the same thing across the board with, like, your leg training, your back training, or if you're doing full body, for instance, or push-pull or whatever, you could apply these principles. So that's really about it, and I hope that helps you get more out of your training sessions, more out of your growth, and because growth hormone and testosterone levels also can affect fat loss significantly, more out of your cutting cycles as well where you're trying to burn fat. If you have any questions or want to clarify anything, or maybe you have something you want to add to this, maybe you have some research you want to add that we can improve upon our workouts even more, please drop those below in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you on Monday for the Meatless Monday, and you have a good weekend. So stay fit, stay formidable, and stay fantastic. I will see you around.